Two questions. First for you, Coach. Great win. When you see a lot of sports today, you see coaches and they're wearing mostly their regular fits and team outfits. I was curious just to know, for you, you have your old school. Is that the way that you will hope to see the league get back to?
Well, I don't care what other people wear, but
Okay.
I like the professionalism of this is kind of how I've always done it. And it's a chance to dress nice. I can't keep up with these guys in their tunnel fits, but I can do my part on the sideline.
Thank you. Yeah. And then this one is for you, KP. Third quarter, you got really hot. What did you see out there? Because it was like you just got in the zone and you were picking your spots really well, or whether coming off a pick and roll or one-on-one. What did you see in that third quarter?
Just trying to stay aggressive, and I felt like in the first half, I felt like they were giving me a little bit of space. So I knew in the third quarter I could come out and pull up. It's just like fine balance between taking quick shots, step backs versus trying to get us in stuff. So I was trying to be really patient in the first half, and felt like it was going to open up for me in the second.
John W. Davis with the Southern California News Group. This question is for Kelsey and Azura. How do you keep that same energy, as the kids say, in that third quarter and just, keep it going for the fourth and then just carry it over game to game? Because it seems like those types of shots, if it's working, they should be there.
Yeah, it's been a focus. We haven't come out after halftime with the best energy, so we've really been trying to focus on that. And I think with KP leading the charge, everybody just came out confident in the second half, and we're really hard to guard when we're doing that. When we're cutting, we're making the right reads, and when we're making threes, it's hard to guard that. So we just had a concerted effort today to just come out of halftime with a lot of energy.
Coach Anthony DeLeon, LA Times. I know we've been talking this past week about just a full 40 minutes from your team. What did you see from them on that standpoint, and how good does it feel to kind of
Yeah, it's winning. I prefer winning. I'm much better at it. I think, and that's what I just told them in the locker room, that we played 40 minutes, and wins are hard to come by in this league. And you can play a good 40 minutes, and the other team's still gonna make it uncomfortable. But we had 24 assists on 31 made baskets. That's the stat of the game for me. But we also had 12 steals. We were really good defensively. They were locked in. Dearica had 6 steals, which is impressive from a post. Azura was everywhere tonight inside. I thought we kind of took them out of what made them comfortable, and they're a good team. And like I said, they played a tough schedule, but I'm really, we were 13 to 27 from 3. We had good proportion of 2s to 3s. The ball was moving, and season high in points, so we just got to build on it.
Ray Morales, Spurs Union. This could be for anybody, but the Sky got off to a 7-0 start in the second quarter. What did you guys do to basically stop the bleeding?
I didn't know who was going to answer. I think we just, it's just about what we're learning to not think about what has just happened, just attack the next play. And I thought that happened. KP hit a shot, I think Z hit a shot, we just answered. And that's kind of the verb you want to use with next play, is just answer it. Don't, dwell on what's happened, but just next play mentality, attack that. So I think players did a really good job of just not dwelling on the run and, just keep chopping wood.
For Azura, this is a team that obviously has a lot of size. Angel, Camilla, bringing Elizabeth Williams off the bench. But what were you able to see out there, that enabled you to kind of have a big night tonight, despite, that front line they have?
Yeah, I think me and D, we boxed out as much as we could, but the guards came in and got the ones that kind of fell around the free throw line, and I think that's important when you're playing, teams that have size. It takes a gang effort. So I think the guards did a good job, and then, me and D did a good job too, just trying to battle them. We're skinny, but we're strong too, so we use that to our advantage. But
And they play really, really hard.
Yeah.
That makes up for a lot of, whether it's size or whatever, but those two played their tails off.
Coach, in the fourth, Chicago gets back in it with a run, but defensively they went to a bit of a zone, quite a bit. Teams around the league and in basketball are using zone more often. Why does that present so much of a problem to offenses around the world?
Well, I think, it's just a chess move of trying to get the other team to hiccup a little bit, right? And just try to, they're doing something, you just kind of try to get you out of rhythm. And, they were just trying to mix it up, get back in it. It was a good call. We looked a little disoriented the first couple times, and then, they had to get out of it. But I think that's why teams are doing it. It's not a bad idea.
Coach, you mentioned Tiarka's steals, but she also had the 8 assists. I'm wondering, did you guys sort of make it an emphasis to run more of the half court through her, or was it just how all sort of landed?
That's a lot of our system goes through her, kind of in that middle spot. But 8 assists, again, 8 assists and 6 steals, that doesn't usually come from your center, right? But that speaks to her talent and her understanding of what we're trying to do. She's a really smart player. So, I don't think those are, out of this world numbers to where she couldn't do it again in how we play.
Lynn, this is for you, but Azura or Kelsey, you guys can weigh in too. That stretch in the third quarter, when you guys basically took command of the game, is that the blueprint? Is that what Sparks basketball should look like?
Yeah, I think what we're trying to figure out and really be consistent with is the ball's moving, players are moving. We're not taking forced shots, we're hitting the open shooter, and I think that's what you saw. The ball's moving, and KP did a tremendous job. How many assists did she have? 8. She gets so much attention, there's so much pressure on her. She's getting, the defense is physical, but she did a great job today finding the open man. And that's, if we continue to do that, then what are you gonna do defensively? You gotta, if they're not gonna help onto her, then she can score 50.
I like that you said that.
Trying to be like the young folk.
Fredo Cervantes here with the Sporting Tribune. Azura, just looking at your game today, you were just kind of lights out there and just adjusting to a new, coaching staff and, a new player like KP. How easy does KP kind of make the game look for you?
Yeah, I think just it's been great playing with her. Me and her have really connected just on the cutting. She always finds me at the right time, and it's just my job to knock in the shot. So I'm happy that I get to play with someone like that, where all I have to do is make the shots. But I just think the system is really good for us. It spreads teams out, and when you're a good shooter, you can kind of get what you want. They're gonna start coming out, and then it's almost a free lane to the basket. So I just love the spacing, and when we run our stuff right, it's really easy to score.
KP, you played with reckless abandon. You frequently drive to the hole. You don't shy away from contact. Today you took a shot to the face. Shrug that off. I'm curious, where does your toughness come from?
Yeah, I gotta finish better at the rim. I know you didn't ask that, but jeez, I feel like smoky out there. And I think my family, my dad's a football player, my brother played football growing up, my sisters are the 2 toughest human beings that I've ever met. So maybe being bullied as a kid just kind of gives you that resilience. But I love to compete. I want to play. I want to win so bad. I hate losing. It makes me sick. And so just whatever this team needs. And fortunately I've had a journey, and I've learned a lot throughout my journey. And I've had to develop a lot of other skills besides scoring. So a level of toughness mentally, that'll come through for you in this league.
Congrats on this first home win of the season, but how do you turn the page to Tuesday and try to get another one?
We got no choice. It's coming. And so it's like I said before the game, win or lose, we got to wake up tomorrow and attack Atlanta game plan. And as coaches, we'll attack it when we leave here, and we just have to take care of ourselves, rest, rehab, do all the things. And like I said, win or lose, you got to re-attack because they come quick. So another chance to play at home, another chance to get a win at home, but nothing's easy, so we got to be ready to roll.
Coach Ray here. Azura and Kelsey as 2 leaders on this team. This is a complete 180 from what we've seen in the last couple post games. There's a lot of jokes, there's a lot of good energy. How do you kind of keep that going and keep that, moving in the locker room with the players who are, happy to get the win?
Keep winning. When you win, you're happy. None of us want to lose, and I think the games that we lost, like, we could have won them, and that was the most frustrating part that we all had to reflect on, was that they were close games. So, you know, I'm proud of the team. Like, we came out and put a whole game together, and we're looking to keep doing that.
Lauren Jones, Lojo Media over here. KP, this one's for you. Early, you know, still on in your LA career, but what are your early impressions of just crypto.com and just the fans and the environment and, you know, just having the star-studded, what LA brings, you know, in terms of just the fandom as well?
It was awesome tonight. There was a lot of people courtside. There was a guy, I think he was with LA, but he was talking trash to me. And that did get me going. He was like, come on. And I was like, I've been coming on. What are you talking about? But he got me going. And then in the third quarter, he's like, see what I mean? I'm like, oh, okay, you can take the credit for that. But no, it's been awesome. And, you know, I think that, you know, you keep winning, they keep showing up. And, you know, that's what we want this to be, somewhere where it's like, dang it, we gotta go to LA. Like, this is a tough place to play. And so, you know, just slowly but surely, we gotta put wins together.
We'll go to Zoom for the last two questions. Willie Ramirez first.
Thank you. I have two, if I may, one for Coach, one for KP. KP, I could be wrong. I've been covering you since the Ace arrived. This seems to be the most driven that you've been at the start of a season since 2022, the year after the Sixth Player of the Year. I'll never forget when that media day, he said, yeah, I threw that trophy away. I don't never want to see it. You got 124 points through 5 games. Your previous high from 5 was 93. How comfortable are you with this fresh start you've been talking about? Because you look just really happy and really driven.
I mean, the points thing is just funny. I've emphasized it before, I really want to win. And so I know, you know, this system asks a lot for me in terms of creating, but then also trying to score and finding that balance. And it's not easy, right? I'm not going to get it right all the time. But I don't give a damn about the points. I'm here to win. And so, you know, I was trying to be patient in the first half, and then I knew in the third quarter I had to be a little bit more aggressive. But really, I've been on a mission since I came out the womb. So I don't know about driven. You know, it is what it is, and you know, you're just in a different position of being asked to hold more responsibility. But I think that, you know, I've always been a driven human being.
Lynn, your first 2 years at Utah were KP's last 2 at UW. How nice has it been to now be on the same side?
Yeah, it's a lot different. I'll tell you that. It's way more fun to coach her than to prepare for her. So I've always been a KP fan and have loved, like what you just heard. That's her, the essence of Kelsey Plum is. It's really not about, you know, she plays with joy. She loves to play the game, and you know, she's like a kid in a candy store on game day, and that's contagious. It's fun to be around, and it's fun to coach. But she's, you know, she's not happy when things aren't going well, and that's contagious too. But I've always been a fan, and you know, now I get to work alongside her and hopefully chase down some things here with the Sparks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Is that it?
Kelsey, just one quick question there for you. Just Madeline here from RCB Radio Sport Ireland. We spoke there last year, Kelsey. Kelsey, we were just adding on about that freedom in your game. There seems to be a great sense of freedom since you came to LA. I'm just wondering, we heard about the scoring feats. Do you get a great sense of achievement in the assist feats as well? Does Kelsey Plum really happy when she's like 15 assists, 12 assists? Do you rather getting high numbers of assists rather than points? What is your own preference?
Where are you from?
Scotland.
Ireland.
Irish. I'm Irish too. I can feel it. Yeah, you know, I feel like I've been stuck on like the 6, 7, 8 assists for like 3 years. So I'm.
Good job.
What do you mean?
You got 8?
Coach, I went 10? I'm like, oh man. It's okay, we'll get there. Yeah, I mean, I kind of reiterated before. I'm doing whatever it takes to win. You know, defensively, you know, running the team, just being more intentional about getting us into stuff. And as the season goes, I've learned in this league, you got to continue to get better and adapt. You got to get better, you got to adapt, and it's quick turnaround. You know, we play Atlanta in less than 48 hours, so it's one of those things where, you know, you got to always get better, watch the film. Okay, what are they taking away? You know, this league is tremendous at making adjustments, and as a player, you know, the best players always end up adapting and then coming through. So I'm gonna continue to get better, and I promise you, sir, I'll get those 10 assists for you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys for being here.